For a time beyond human comprehension, it drifted. A silent traveler in the cold, dark expanse between worlds. It was a seed, but not like any seed from Earth. This one was immense, the size of a small asteroid, its surface a complex pattern of crystalline ridges, deep organic grooves. It tumbled slowly through the vacuum of space, a solitary speck carrying the potential for life, a promise of something new. It passed sleeping planets, glittering nebulae, its journey unguided and its destination unknown. For eons it was just another piece of cosmic debris, a forgotten artifact of a long-dead star system, waiting for a chance encounter. This cosmic nomad was a masterpiece of alien biology. Its outer shell was incredibly resilient, designed to withstand the harsh radiation of deep space and the extreme temperatures of the void. Its trajectory brought it into the gravitational influence of our own solar system. It swung past the gas giants, its path bending slightly. It was then that it met our moon. The moon's gravity, a gentle but persistent force, acted like a cosmic slingshot. It caught the seed in its gravitational well, swung it around its far side and then released it. But its new path was different. It was no longer a wanderer destined for the outer darkness. Now it was aimed directly at the third planet from the sun. It was heading for Earth. The seed began to accelerate, pulled by our planet's much stronger gravity. The entry was spectacular. It hit the upper layers of our atmosphere at incredible speed. The friction of the thin air began to superheat its surface. A brilliant light bloomed in the night sky, brighter than any meteor. People looking up saw a new, fiery star streaking across the heavens. The seed was wrapped in a blazing cocoon of incandescent plasma. A teardrop of fire painted a temporary line across the constellations. As it descended, the air grew thicker and resistance intensified. The sound finally reached the ground. Windows rattled. Car alarms blared through the city of Veritas. Thousands rushed outside. The projectile headed for a vast freshwater lake, Lake Veritas. The visitor from space was seconds from impact. Then, it hit. But the impact was not what anyone expected. There was no colossal explosion. There was no tidal wave. The massive white-hot object plunged into the dark waters of Lake Veritas and simply vanished. The lake's surface barely rippled. A great cloud of steam hissed into the air, then silence. People on the shore stood in profound mystery and confusion. An object of immense size and energy had disappeared without a splash, leaving only questions. Deep beneath the surface of Lake Veritas, the seed settled into the cold, soft mud of the lakebed. The intense heat of its atmospheric entry quickly dissipated into the surrounding water. It was now in a new environment, a world of darkness, pressure, and, most importantly, water. The seed was no longer dormant, its journey was over, and its true purpose was about to begin. The crystalline shell, which had protected it for so long, began to undergo a change. Microscopic pores, once sealed against the vacuum of space, slowly opened. The seed was ready to drink. It began to absorb water at an astonishing rate. The alien biology inside was incredibly efficient, drawing in H2O through a process similar to osmosis, but on a scale never seen before. The water was the key, the trigger that initiated the next phase of its life cycle. From the base of the seed, thick, powerful tendrils began to push their way out, burrowing deep into the lakebed and anchoring the massive object firmly in place. From its top, a single pale shoot began to emerge, pushing upward through the murky water toward the faint light filtering down from the surface. The growth was unnaturally fast. What would take years for a terrestrial plant was happening in a matter of hours. The shoot thickened and strengthened as it grew. Within a day, the tip of the shoot broke the surface of Lake Veritas. It looked like a strange, smooth white pillar rising from the center of the lake, but it did not stop. The object was no longer a pillar. It was unmistakably a sapling, a giant alien sapling, growing at a pace that defied every known law of biology. The silent mystery at the bottom of the lake was now a very visible and very public phenomenon. The first people to see the sapling were early morning fishermen, joggers along the lake's shore. At first, they were confused. What was that strange white tower in the middle of the lake? They recorded videos, took photos, uploaded them to social media with captions full of disbelief. Within an hour, the story went viral. News helicopters began circling the lake, broadcasting live footage. The world watched, mesmerized as the sapling grew taller with each passing minute, its pale branches spreading out like a crown. Scientists were baffled, biologists, botanists, astrophysicists offering theories but no concrete answers. Spectrographic analysis revealed elements not typically found in living organisms. A team in a reinforced boat tried to approach to collect a sample. Their boat was gently but irresistibly pushed away by a strange current. They deployed a floating boom to contain it. The sapling grew through it, snapping cables like threads. The public's reaction shifted from wonder to a mixture of fear and reverence. Some called it a miracle, a divine gift. Crowds gathered to watch, crowds gathered to pray, crowds gathered to sing. Others saw an alien invader that must be destroyed. The sapling ignored the human drama. It continued to grow, reaching for the sun. Its thirst was insatiable. Its purpose remained a profound, terrifying mystery. The sapling's growth was fueled by an incredible thirst. It was drinking Lake Veritas. The water level of the vast lake began to drop at an alarming rate. What was once a gradual change became a visible crisis. Shorelines receded by meters every hour, leaving docks, boats stranded in the mud. The bustling lakeside city of Veritas, which depended on the lake for its water supply, suddenly faced a dire shortage. Faucets ran dry. The city's lifeblood was being siphoned away by the silent giant in the center of the lake, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. Then, a more disturbing phenomenon began. It wasn't just the water. Fish in the lake started to disappear. Entire schools of them would swim near the base of the sapling and simply vanish, their life energy seemingly absorbed along with the water. The effect soon spread beyond the lake. Birds flying too close to the sapling would falter and fall from the sky. Panic set in. The city of Veritas was no longer safe. The government issued a mandatory evacuation order. Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to flee their homes, grabbing what they could and leaving everything else behind. The highways leading out of the city were jammed. Veritas became a ghost town, its empty streets and buildings standing as a silent testament to the sapling's power. The area around the lake became a gray zone, a place where life withered and died. The sapling, now a colossal tree of impossible size, continued to grow, its branches reaching high into the clouds. Its roots, having penetrated deep into the earth, began to tap into the underground aquifers. It was drawing water from the very water table of the continent. Scientists issued a terrifying new projection. If the tree's growth and water consumption continued at this rate, it would not stop with the lake or the groundwater. Its root system would eventually reach the ultimate source of water on the planet, the oceans. The evacuation of Veritas and the alarming projections from scientists shifted the global conversation from one of wonder to one of crisis. Humanity was faced with a choice, and it was a choice that split societies down the middle. One side, often called the Guardians, argued that the tree was a sacred phenomenon. They saw it as a new form of life, perhaps even a sentient one, sent to Earth for a reason we did not yet understand. To them, destroying it would be an act of cosmic ignorance, a murder of the highest order. Religious leaders, environmental activists, and artists were prominent voices in this group. On the other side were the exterminators, a faction driven by fear and pragmatism. They saw the tree for what it was, a parasite draining the planet of its most precious resource. They pointed to the dead city of Veritas, the disappearing wildlife, and the undeniable threat to the world's oceans. Scientists, military leaders, and politicians led this group. They argued that the survival of humanity and Earth's entire ecosystem was at stake. They proposed using military force, including tactical nuclear weapons, to destroy the tree before its root system could contaminate the oceans and trigger a global catastrophe. The debate paralyzed world governments. The decision was too monumental for any single nation to make. As of today, September 4, 2025, the government of the world, represented by a hastily formed global council, stands on the precipice of a monumental decision. The tree, which scientists have named Yggdrasil novus, has now consumed all the water from Lake Veritas and the surrounding groundwater for hundreds of kilometers. Its root system is a subterranean network of unimaginable complexity spreading like a web through the continental crust. Recent seismic data confirms the worst fears. The leading tendrils of the root system are now less than 50 kilometers from the continental shelf. They are reaching for the Pacific Ocean. The choice has become stark and immediate. The Council has been presented with two final options. The first is Project Chimera, a desperate last-ditch effort to communicate with or pacify the tree using modulated frequencies, biological agents, a plan favored by the Guardians. The second is Project Thanatos, a military operation involving a coordinated strike with the most powerful conventional, non-conventional weapons in the human arsenal, a plan championed by the exterminators. Both plans are fraught with immense risk. The pressure on the Council is unbearable. The final decision is expected within the next 48 hours. Whatever they choose, the seed that drifted through the void and landed in a quiet lake has already changed Earth forever. It has shown us that we are not alone in the universe, and that the universe is far more wondrous and far more dangerous than we ever imagined.